point that whether the camera picks that out or not. You hit the throttle, there's nothing. Well, yet again, I am making some life changes. As you can see here in the shop, nothing but my junk in here. We've got the old 185 Suzuki's we're going to continue working on. The kids' Razor 170 we're going to put back to stock. Lawnmower just in here for storage. Dirt bikes in here for storage. R-Max in here is for storage. So you might say, why is all my stuff in here and not customers' machines? Well, I'm shutting down AMR Power Sports. Even though business has been good and I've been busy, rising insurance costs really make it hard for small businesses to get ahead. So I have an opportunity to go to work for a power sports dealer as a mechanic there. So I'm taking it, and one of the main reasons I'm taking that job is because, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but since I opened my own business, I haven't had much time to put a lot of content out. Maybe a handful of uploads the past year and a half, almost 2 years that I've been doing my business. So I want to get back to doing weekly uploads, and I think this is the way I'm going to be able to do it, by punching a time clock, having a set stop date, and then coming home and doing videos. So I think that's the best move to make for both me and my family and for the channel. And to kick things off on this change, I have a new buggy, a new project vehicle, which if you follow me on Facebook, you already know this, that is gonna need some work. Now, before I show this, guys, bear in mind that the vehicle I am about to show you I got is because it was a trade. We had our old camper with a leaking roof. It needed major roof repair. Someone contacted me about having a four-wheeler that needed some repair. So I thought, okay, bones for bones are worth about the same value. Let's make the trade. And what did I trade? Again, don't kill me or smash that dislike button, but it is a 2011 Polaris Sportsman 850.
What a stupid idiot.
Yes, I know. I said I never own a Polaris. Guess what? I own a Polaris. But you know what? I give Polaris a hard time, mostly just to pick at Dan. But the truth of the matter is, I've never owned one and never had much personal experience with them other than all the Polaris I had in my shop to fix. So my plan is to get this guy up and running. We're gonna keep it for a good solid year. We're gonna rip it like normal. We're gonna trail ride. I'm getting old enough, I don't know if we'll do much mudding, but hey. But anyway, we're gonna put this guy through its paces for a full, solid year. And after that year's time, I'm gonna come under my own determination whether Polaris is good or not. Now again, one buggy is really not a good judge of how Polaris is as a whole throughout all their buggies, but it's a start. Now, to be fair, this guy does run, but well, I guess the best thing to do is for me just to start it up and for you to see what's going on here. You hear that? It runs, but she's not running well. And she does smoke quite a bit, whether the camera picks that out or not. You hit the throttle, there's nothing. Whew. So I have already dug into this a little bit. I did a compression test, and these Sportsman 850s have no decompression system. So for a compression test, normal compression is anywhere between 210 and 250 PSI. When I did my pressure test, we got 140 on the rear cylinder and 150 on the front. So this thing is way down in compression. So there's definitely something going on here. I do have my suspicions that because we have a ton of mud in this one headlight and not in this one, that this guy was maybe put into a mud hole crooked. And I also noticed here, we're gonna have to do some frame repair. This is broke here and it's messing up. This frame is broke here and also down in there where it connects. I noticed here sitting on the seat that it was kind of cockeyed. Well, we're gonna have to do a little bit of frame repair. That is broke. but we definitely got to tear into the engine. Hopefully maybe it's just something in the head with the valve, but we'll find out. I know the camera didn't pick it up. This guy's definitely smoking, so there's something going on here. Compression's down low. Let's tear into it. Let's get the plastics off. I'm not sure how far we're gonna have to tear this down. Probably pretty far, but we'll get to work. Well, you can see by the pile of parts we're making good progress on tearing the Sportsman down. As you can see, we're not quite there yet. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this whole motor out just to make it easier, because I know I'm gonna have to tear into it pretty good. But I had to bring you guys in here before that's done, because I just realized something that was failed to be mentioned. We are completely missing our front drive shaft. No drive shaft whatsoever. Which means, if you guys come in here, our diff is completely open to the elements, and by taking my finger in there, there is no fluid and it is grimy. So not only did they fail to mention there was no drive shaft and the diff was open, I'm gonna have to buy a new drive shaft. Chances are that front diff is toast. So I may have got shysted a little bit on this deal. Silly money, right? Parts are still readily available. We'll get her all fixed up and get her ripping again. I'll practically have a brand new machine probably by the time I'm done. All right, so as you can see, I've got the Sportsman tore down here, and honestly, things weren't as bad as what I was thinking. We've got the head all apart here in various parts. And from tearing this apart, there's several clues here that I think I can kind of get an understanding of what exactly happened to this Sportsman. Clue number one, if you see here, this headlight is full of mud. Wow. This headlight is nice and clear. Clue number two, as I've already said, our rack frame is broke both here and down here. Clue number three, we are not only missing our front drive shaft, but our four-wheel drive actuator that bolted here is actually broken off, because there's still pieces here you can see held in by the bolts, while the rest is missing. Clue number four, and this may be hard to see, but our cam gear does show some evidence. I don't think the GoPro will focus enough here to get this, but there is evidence here that our timing chain did slip a little bit on our cam gear. Clue number five, there is ever so slight an indication here on this cylinder and this cylinder that two of our exhaust valves made slight contact with our piston. Now our valves themselves look okay and look to be closed, but I will have to pull them apart and check the valves individually out of there to see if they are bent or not. So with all of these clues, here is what I surmised happened. I am thinking that at some point in time, somebody was ripping hard in this machine and either didn't see a mud hole or was ripping hard to try to go into a mud hole, and they dropped this side in some kind of hole that just immediately stopped it, boom, like that. And what that caused is with the drivetrain just immediately coming to a stop while the transmission's still engaged and the engine's still running high RPMs, it caused our timing chain to actually skip a tooth. Not a lot. Again, this would still start up, but it was just running awful, smoking like crazy. And we can see signs that at least a couple valves touched our piston. Not enough to cause catastrophic failure, but maybe the timing chain only skipped a tooth and it threw the timing off. So our combustion wasn't happening when it should. Hence the rough idle, and when you're giving it gas and the RPM's increasing, it was just blah, 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 blah. So that is what I think happened. They dropped into a hole, a mud hole or something by the look of this headlight, or they were in a mud hole trying to get out and just jamming the drivetrain like that. Broke the four-wheel drive actuator, caused the timing chain to skip a tooth and throw the timing off. And the poor Sportsman has not been the same or run very well since then. So, if this was a customer's machine, I would suggest replacing pistons, replacing a timing chain, and Probably safe to say that if our valves hit the piston even just a little bit, they're probably bent enough they're not going to seal well. Now, since this is my machine and I'm trying to fix this on the cheap, I'm probably not going to replace all that. I think I can come in here and grind these little ridges down on our pistons and get them good enough for this guy to run. We'll reset the timing. I probably am going to go ahead and replace the exhaust valves because that's something that's definitely important. They need to be perfectly straight in order to function properly. So I probably am going to go ahead and order 4 new exhaust valves for this guy. Of course, the appropriate gaskets I need. We're going to put this back together and see if we run better. Because in order to replace the pistons, the piston rings, the timing chain, motor's got to be pulled, the case has got to be split, and I don't have time nor the money to do that right now. So, again, customers, I'd fix it correctly. You guys, fix it correctly. Don't do what I'm going to do, but we're going to try this and see if we can get this girl back to life and back in riding condition. But like I said, we're going to keep this puppy for a full year. So that, I guess, would be a good way to test the durability of these engines, is to fix it very minimalistically and see how long she runs. And plus, like I mentioned, this 4-wheel drive actuator and the drive shaft is going to cost almost $1,000 alone. So I'm going to fix the motor for the cheap so we can get 4-wheel drive working. If she goes, she goes. We'll fix her right then, and it'll be a whole nother exciting video of tearing this motor down. But we're going to see how she goes. Again, not recommended. Don't fix it like this. We're going to do it for entertainment purposes and to see how long she lasts. It's an experiment. I mean, right? We'll call it an experiment to see how she does. So that'll be it for the Sportsman for now. I'll get the things ordered I need to get this guy fixed. And on the next video with this guy, we will throw it back together, see if we can't breathe life. And I think, again, the main thing was our timing was just off. Probably will play it safe. I'll check into what a cam gear cost, and I probably will replace this. I don't think these are that super expensive. At least for a decent quality aftermarket one, I'd not necessarily have to go OEM. We'll probably go with a decent quality aftermarket for this guy. The teeth are not bad, but they are, the chain definitely jumped on this guy. As far as everything else, our cam still looks in great shape. Our lobes aren't excessively wore or anything. So we'll need to get the water pump gasket, because I had to turn the water pump off in order to be able to crank the motor to find top dead center when the time comes. So yep, next time you see this guy, we'll put some parts on her, put her back together, change the oil obviously, because I have no idea what kind of mileage or hours is on the oil that's in it. But I'm going to be filing down the little grooves in these pistons. We're going to have some debris anyway, so I need to flush it. So that'll be on the next video. And then we'll get to go for a little ride, and we'll see how I enjoy the Sportsman 850. So until then, guys, God bless and keep on riding.